much the game loads. I appreciate that I am skipping everything, and chances are the load screens are probably buffer the loading. So I'm essentially hurting the game and, you know, giving it enough chance to load important things. But you've got to go fast, especially when you're playing a game you're not a big fan of. Because time is precious at the moment. There's too much stuff happening. But you're about to recognise the next room. You'll recognise him. He's the crazy Anubis axe wielding dude. Oh wow. It's all good, buddy. So those Chaos Infusions are useful because they allow you to get more money, they allow you to get those Soul Seeds, and they allow you to get more EP. Like, if it was up to me, I would have the entire game doused in a giant field of infusion. And that is really unfortunate. Fucking douche spawn. Like, I tried to not do the third hit then because I didn't want it, and I had nothing to cancel it with except for the charge, and it didn't work.
The path of chaos is long.
Because Shadowbind is the mandatory part of this garb, and I never use it because it's a move that takes like 150 ATB to do. So if I could remove that and actually put something useful on, it'd be a godsend. But one of the only drawbacks to this fantastic ability is, or this fantastic garb, is the fact that you have that shit move on there that could prove to be useful in a certain situation. I just haven't found it yet.
Thanks to his bonds with the Foul Sea God, he's been granted special powers. However, in return,
Look at him still committing to the stupid bullshit jargon of Final Fantasy XIII.
That's one fact I really don't need reminding of.
Look at him. Like the dialogue just then. She essentially gave us an exposition dump on something we already know about from the old game, and then followed it by saying, that's something we don't need reminding of because we're also up on this stupid jargon bullshit of the first game.
Including Snow. I won't leave him again.
Listen to her, she's so emo. She's worse than Squall. And Squall created emo-ness. All because he never knocked one out. If Squall had knocked one out, he wouldn't have been all sexually frustrated. He wouldn't have just thrown himself into his work, and he would have probably noticed that Quistis totally wanted to do him. It'd have been a completely different game if it had nailed Quistis. Preferably about 5 years ago. Would have been kind of awkward too, but it doesn't matter. She's hot. And I wish I was playing that game.
Look familiar? That's the door you couldn't get through the first time. The ID you have now should unlock it. The chaos is even thicker.
So, this is introducing you to the concept of pressing switches. This is a concept that never, ever, ever turns up again in the game. And this enemy's been a bit gay. I meant to say stubborn, but then it slapped me. Once again, folks, that's the noun variety of it. It's not the hate speech. Nothing against people who choose homosexuality. Which is kind of sad in today's world that I have to make that distinction. So many people are so eager to fly the white flag, or should I say white knight slash self-martyr themselves in the name of causes that have nothing to do with them. It's the same with racial slurs, it's the same with a lot of language we used to use in more ignorant times. And that is bullshit, that it punched me in the fucking camera arc. And this thing's tough as well.
My journey doesn't end here.
Where's the... Why does this have fire on? Oh, I'm wearing the wrong outfit.
My journey continues.
That needs changing. That really threw me off then. I kept spinning and spinning and spinning, but I couldn't see the ability. It's because I'm wearing this twatty dress. Is it that one? That needs to be deprotect, because deprotect is probably my favourite debuff. There we go. That was awkward. And I need to hit that. Oh, that's a big thing. That's totally thrown my rhythm off. Hopefully I'll get it back. Yeah, I know where I am now. It just seems strange that they'd introduced this button pushing, which is as arbitrary as it gets. You know, if you want to put something into your game that slightly changes the gameplay but isn't physically demanding or mentally demanding in any way, put pointless buttons. Like, in 2014, do we really need pointless buttons? Couldn't we come up with a more interesting thing? Aren't these people being paid to come up with more interesting things? That just don't make sense to me. Like, we play games for fun. Some people play them, you know, for different reasons, but I think the ubiquitous notion is that they're enjoyable. And this is a mandatory shot. I don't know why. And it's a mouthy guard as well. Shut up. And what I would normally do is I would normally swap my defensive equipment here to protect against ice and to focus on doing fire damage. But considering what Artemis's arrow has done to all the previous bosses, I don't think we're going to need it. Just because of how insanely damaging the move appears to be. Like, I would normally heal as well. I normally do a lot of things before a boss, but I really don't think I need to.
According to the drawings I have of the palace's layout, this should be Snow's room. But
Doesn't look very comfortable, like a cage made to hold some wild beast or...
One thing as well, Final Fantasies have always had a really nice bestiary of monsters. They've always had a wide variety, and don't get me wrong, a lot of them are palette swaps, a lot of them are enemies from previous games brought back and redesigned, but that added a charm to the game. This one just seems to have a few enemies. Like, there's hardly any, and a lot of them are... Oh, you fucking bitch. What a waste of time. It could have been any other enemy except for that big fat-headed cat, and I'd have got past it then. But instead, it just ruins everything with its big fat head. Bloody toilet duck. Right. There's the button. There's the cutscene with the random animals. There's animals everywhere. There's some wild-ass Square Enix animal lovers who make these games. And I believe that this... Is this mandatory? Yeah, it is. Bet it's cool. We'll deprotect them, and then we'll hit them with Artemis, because it's all the rave these days. I didn't even hit him with unprotect, man. There you go. Deprotect, or whatever it's called. So there's the door, and in here is more of this fantastically creative level design that I think is made more egregious by the fact it looks pretty. Like, I didn't mind in the olden days of like two-dimensional ones, because they were generally just caves that you went through to get to different towns, and everything was rocky, so you didn't really notice that it was all identical paths. But when it's like an intentionally designed tapestry that's just copy-pasted and milked everywhere, it's harder to swallow. It's a much harder pill to swallow. I don't know, folks. I love RPGs, and they're changing into something I just literally can't get behind. Like, did anybody play Alundra? What a game. Alundra got it right. It really did. And it was really hard too. Like Zelda for adults, although Zelda is for adults.
You're asking
it's an
me to
amazing
kill
game.
you?
So, deprotect, slow, and block. Block whenever he does anything. And we're gonna... Oh, you need to be careful on that! Whenever he does recast, he's gonna do a massive counter that does wicked damage. But we're trying to stagger him if we can. And the only problem is I don't have any ATB to do it, because I want to hit him twice with this. And it just didn't work because he's punching me. There we go. Into this, into stagger. I think that's a counter move.
Finish me off.
There we go. Now we've staggered him, we can hit him with this. And he's dead. There goes Snow. Oh, so if I'd have changed my elemental moves then to something fire related, hit him with fire, ran in and done the beatdown, I would have staggered him infinitely quicker and been able to just run in and finish him off. But it was still 45 seconds, which is kind of ridiculous for hard. But my character is more powerful than these bosses, apparently. And Snow is the end of the conventional bosses. The only thing left of this speedrun is going to be the fetch quest for Zaza's main mission, and then the last boss, which, you know, is just going to be the last boss, and hopefully it'll be nice and simple. But there's the ghostly hood. That's what you get to increase your block. That's the one that I'm currently using to make my block so amazing. And that is pretty much it. Now we're just going to go back to the Ark. And yeah. Let's warp to somewhere with an inn. And get to the Ark so we can have a fresh day to do everything we need. And then I can go back to another file where I'm at the last boss on hard. And then we can kill it. But I do apologise, folks. I really did want to love this game. I really wanted to get into it. I really wanted to cover it with a very elaborate guide. And then I played it. So there we go. Rest until 6. Skip the rest in, because you can skip everything on this game. It just takes you a million times to do it. And that's the end of the third day, and the end of all the main quests, except for the optional easy one.